I was in high school when I first started trying to find information about the Okanagan people and my culture, my language, and realized that it just wasn't there. It was absent. Even in the Okanagan curriculum, never found anything about the Okanagan people, let alone the interior Salish people. I knew my history orally from my parents, but I had no way of knowing whether that was written anywhere. But I did know that it was wrong, and I did realize that there wasn't a lot of research. Right out of university, I became very interested in traveling around with the elders, and as an interpreter, I started realizing these guys know more about history than anybody else in this valley. At that point, they identified education as a priority for us as a younger generation at that time to do as much research as we could to be able to provide the substantive information about who we were, how we used our land, and what our rights were in relation to that. It was a wonderful time. School districts were involved in developing that first research phase, and that's how I became involved. The first phase of that research was really related to information that could be turned into curriculum for in-school programs. Once that research was done, we produced a K-12 curriculum. The second phase of the research involved looking at how do we look at our own communities in terms of what they need to recover and how they need to apply their own values, their own systems and organized way of doing things. The third phase of our research really is concentrated around all of the revitalization of language, revitalization of culture, which means how can they be applied in a contemporary sense and maintain the values and the philosophy. Well, one of the values that I've carried with me and the core of what inspires and fuels my inquisitiveness about the Syilx culture is that I realize that there's some real problems. The kind of philosophy and value toward the land and the things that live on it is not the same as the Syilx people's values around all the living things, which are as valuable as we are, as valuable as the next person. So how we interact with them is incredibly important. And I think that there may be ways in which the Syilx mind and the Syilx philosophy can provide a knowledgeable and wise input into that ongoing social dialogue. We've come to that time where we need to include as many pieces of knowledge from as many diverse corners of humanity in order to solve this problem that seems not solvable.